DNA plays a role in everything that everyone does, almost every moment of every day. Right? We share 99.9% of DNA, all of us, very similar. However, that 0.1% is what makes us all different. It's amazing when you think of how much DNA we have inside of us, that tiny bit is what makes us all look different, act different, have different health compositions, things like that. The CDC says 1 in every 33 babies will be born with a disability. That's kind of where I'm going with this. This is on DNA evidence and the benefits and science behind it. So the goal of my speech is to tell you about the benefits of the ability to track DNA and use the science behind DNA to produce better health for babies, essentially. Most disabilities in pregnancy occur in the first trimester. That's according to Live Science 2015. When the organs are forming in the baby, often that is when some of the issues come up. But it's hard to track, due to the size of the baby, what some of the issues will be. Through DNA testing, we can now take DNA evidence and DNA science from the baby, from the mother, and from the amniotic fluid, and we can track that and look for potential issues that we might not be able to see. Some things such as Down syndrome, things like that that would be easy to see at that, or difficult to see at that size, might be easy to see under a microscope in tracking the DNA of the child. Most families in the U.S., according to the Bureau of U.S. Census, have more than one child, 2.5 to be exact. So when you take the odds of 1 in every 33 children having a disability, and you factor in that every family has roughly 2 to 3 children, it really raises the issue. Testing the babies and testing the mothers and paternity tests are all benefits that we probably know of, things like testing the mother for gestational diabetes, that sort of thing. You know, as you would imagine, having a child takes a lot of nutrients out of the mother's body because you're producing another human from a human. Obviously, that makes sense. In paternity tests, we've all seen Maury or, Jerry Springer, like the "you are the father" thing. That's obviously something we've all seen with DNA testing as well. But some of the other benefits, like besides testing the mother, you could test the baby for things down the road. We now have science that says that you could test a person for diabetes before they're even born. And there's science behind saying that if you could test for diabetes before the child is born, you could potentially alter that child ahead of time. Ethics come into play, obviously. But you could potentially alter things in pregnancy to prevent that child from dealing with the issues that come with diabetes later on in life. So some other benefits that we might not have thought of, according to the National Library of Medicine, genetic testing it's drastically improved over the past 10 to 20 years. It's crazy the advancements that have been made. So really, they say that the science behind everything, it's almost hard to track because it's advanced so rapidly that all of our milestones we thought we would reach have been blown away. So some of the things that we could test for now, like childhood cancer, things like that, have already been found. We've already developed science to where now that, you might not be able to solve the problem pre-birth, but now you can have a plan and a track set ahead of time. So when the child is born, rather than diagnosing afterwards, you already have a plan to diagnose and solve the issue, or the best you can, after the child's born. So essentially, a faster response to an issue that might save a child's life, or many children's lives. Some other benefits are, as you'd imagine, tracking anything health-wise is a big deal, But we now are finding that you can test blood and genetics for things that might affect the child way on in life. Not only cancer as a child, but you could find if the child has a high probability for things down the road, such as kidney failure, things like that, through just testing the blood and amniotic fluid of the child in utero. So by testing these things, you might be able to tell, tell the parent, and as the child develops and turns into an adult, say, listen, you have a high probability of these things due to the formula that we have found in your DNA. That would kind of give them a looking point. If you had a history and the high probability of kidney failure, and you kept an eye on your kidneys and having them tested regularly, that might save your life down the road, as opposed to just happening to stumble across it when it's potentially too late. There's just a lot of benefits, as you probably imagine, from testing DNA. Ethics comes into play because there's a lot of people that say that what will be, and that's perfectly understandable. But as a species, it benefits us to have the advancements of DNA and the science behind it. Why wouldn't you want to be able to, tell the potential and probability of having an issue down the road? Thank you.